Okay. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 5:04. Roll call. Vicki Bevins. Everybody hear me?
Yes. Can you?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Terry Norman? Yes. Nick MacArthur?
Yes.
Derek Hoban?
Here.
John Zimma?
Here.
Christy Haverkamp? Absent. Alan Algo? Here. Let's Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a federal programs public hearing, and we'll just, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move.
Motion by Terry. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by
Derek.
Derek. Roll call vote. Vicki Bevins.
Here.
Terry Dorman. Alan Halgo, yes. Derek Hoban.
Yes.
John Zimma.
Yes.
And on to new business. Oh, Nick MacArthur. Sorry, Nick. Not in new business is we'll start out with a technology discussion. I don't know if this is where Travis comes in or.
Yes, Travis will walk us through the technology. No, I think we can go through all of the, just have discussion on all the technology issues, and then we can go through the rest of the agenda. So. And so the idea is that they have like an internal insurance policy, and it's optional. So if parents wanted to pay into that $35, then it just creates a pool for the district to try to pay for those accidental repairs or replacements, instead of having to bill the parent the full amount for those. So it helps instead of us having to go after parents for those big repairs, it helps us build up a pool and give parents another option for those accidental Chrome issues. So it's just another option for us to create a pool and a fund to help parents pay for some of those accidents that may happen and create an internal insurance pool. So it was just a creative idea that LPA had, and thought it was another option that we could go after. Another support we could provide parents as we continue to give Chromebooks or Chrome or technology devices to every single student. So are there any questions about our technology? And that Chromebook handbook would replace our technology policy that we created last year in distance learning. So any questions on our technology presentation?
What happens to like the premiums and stuff like that? So people pay $35 per Chromebook, correct?
Mhm.
To have the optional insurance, and then pay $35 for the deductible and stuff like that. The Chromebooks themselves are what, about $250, $275 a piece? Okay. It seems like that's a high amount, a number. I mean, you already got 25% of it just to get it fixed. You know what I mean? When you look at the numbers, what also happens to the premiums after it's like the end of the year? Does that get redistributed back to whoever took that out?
That would stay in the pool for following years for repairs.
Okay.
You'd have to have a lot of people buying into that pool to repair some broken, because if you look at the broken glasses on I'm not using the right words, Travis, help me. Screen, thank you, that's the word. I got flu brain. But the screens, when they break, replacing keys. I mean, there's a lot of things that are getting repaired on an ongoing basis that aren't getting reimbursed.
Sounds good.
And we are ordering mice for children. So we'll have some of those being replaced. So as we continue to grow with technology, we'll have more replacements, more repairs. And if we want them to be readily available for children, that cost of replacement and repair is going to continue to grow. So it's just an idea. And I think if we keep it optional and not make it a requirement, it'll just be an option for parents. And as their costs for having to replace and fix things, I think that more and more parents will be interested in contributing to that pool. That's a pretty cheap pool when you look at the cost of repair. I think more and more parents will go, that's not such a bad deal. Other thoughts, ideas, questions, concerns?
No, is that, this is something we have to have a motion and approve, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the Chromebook handbook and insurance option?
Actually, it would be going to 5.2.
That'd be 5.2.
We have action items as we continue through the agenda.
Yep.
So 5.2 would be the Chromebook and insurance option.
Yep.
I'll move.
Terry,
I'll second that.
second by Vicky. We'll do a roll call vote. Vicky Bevins,
Yes.
Terry Dorman,
Yes.
Alan Haugo, yes. Gary Colbin,
Yes.
Nick MacArthur,
Yes.
John Zimmer.
Yes.
And we'll move on to 5.3, policy 524. Is there any changes or? No.
Oh.
So same policy. Is there a motion to approve policy 524?
I'll motion.
Motion by John Zimmer,
Second, Derek.
second by Derek Hoban. Roll call vote. John Zimmer,
Yes.
Nick MacArthur,
Yes.
Derek Hoban,
Yes.
Vicki Bevins,
Yes.
Terry Dorman,
Yes.
Alan Halgo, yes. Motion approved. Now on to 5.4, the world's best workforce plan.
And Charlene is going to walk us through the world's best workforce plan. The state does not have world's best workforce summary out. Usually we go walk through both at this point. But we will be approving the world's best workforce plan tonight.
So there wasn't many changes as far as we've just updated. As Lisa said, we do not have any, the state doesn't have theirs. Also, we did not have any testing last spring, so there was nothing to change for that. So really, it is pretty much the same from the prior year. We just reflected the wording to say as far as the goals, no testing was completed, so we just kept the same goals as far as that. As you all know, the World's Best Workforce is our district-wide plan for improvement. Does everybody have one? A World's Best Workforce plan in front of them?
Nope,
Says
we don't.
in your handouts, it's got a one team, one goal on the front.
Lisa,
You have your packet.
Tammy's still working on the handouts.
Okay, oh,
The handouts were in the original packet. It was only the background agenda that needed to be handed out or recopied.
I'm sorry, what? Okay, so. Okay.
The packets didn't need to be, okay.
okay. So, but, yeah, everything, we pretty much kept everything the same. We didn't change, we tweaked some wording, and that was pretty much it as far as the World's Best Workforce. Hopefully all of our goals will be met this year through testing and all of our other things.
So I got a question. If we go to distance learning again, do you think there will be state testing this year? There will be.
As of right now, they say testing will be. Secretary DeVos is not thinking of providing waivers for any of the states. You know as well as I do that a lot could happen between now and March. Because that will be really interesting.
Yeah, I just think with the way last spring ended and stuff, and the way even this year with the hybrid models, things are just it's the trends. I don't know what's going to happen to them. So.
Oh, I totally agree with you. It's going to be very interesting how that all plays out. But and I think just from the state perspective, it's just let's plan to have them, and we'll adjust as we go along.
Okay.
It is difficult. It really affected AP testing, ACT testing. It is not very optimal, not by any means.
Yep.
So I just have to prepare and plan accordingly.
Okay. Yep. Hopefully all goes well. So.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
But on the bright side, John, we had really great scores, you know.
Okay. No more questions. Is there a motion to approve the world's best workforce plan?
Motion, Derek.
Motion by Derek Hoban. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by John Zimmer. Roll call vote. John Zimmer,
Yes.
Derek Hoban,
Yes.
Alan Halgo, yes. Terry Dorman,
Yes.
Vicki Bevins,
Yes.
Nick MacArthur.
Yes.
Motion passed. On to 5.6 policy 612.2, tribal and parental and ensuring tribal and parental involvement in educational program planning. Discussion.
That would be policy procedures, Indian education policy and procedures.
Yep.
Let me pull that up. Yeah, we approved this at the July board meeting. But this would be the only changes. So as we walk through this policy, this makes sure that we are engaged with parents and tribal communities. It has about 6 different policies and areas that we cover. And once again, not many changes in the past. But we do include this once again with our impact aid in January. So we'll be covering it again in January. But we updated in July because we worked with the folks in impact aid to cover some areas. Then, and I'll cover those to make sure that we cover the updates in particularly. But some of the areas that we talk about is making sure that we give notice and equal participation for educational programming and information and meeting times, locations, dates, and times. So we do make sure that we give a notice at least 1 week ahead of time for all public meetings and public hearings. We have our public hearings 2 times a year. So we make sure that we notify everybody of those meetings. The big things for the updates this time were we took off sending anything out in writing because we really don't do a lot of notification in writing anymore. One of the big things we do is that we send everything out by aptG, so by emails or by social media. We send out everything by text messages, and then we post in the newspapers. So we change that notification. And then the other thing we talked about is that we will continue to problem solve and reevaluate and consultation process with tribal officials and parent committee to maximize parent and tribal official participation and engagement. We did talk about some of the challenges we have with in parent engagement and community engagement, and that's one of the goals of the district and continues to be one of our goals as we work with our families and communities. Another goal that we continue to work on is that posting and increasing involvement with tribal offices and tribal consultation. And we did just do our tribal consultation for the fall, and that we will continue to increase ongoing tribal consultation. We do a good job, I think, in our district of our Indian students participating in activities. We have one of the highest student participation of our Native American students in our activities, in our after school activities. We have high participation in our school activities and equal participation in educational activities, doing school activity or academic programs. But we want to really work on our achievement gaps. And so we want to continue to work on that. When we compare to other people other students across the state, with our Indian students, we have good, when we compare to other students with the same percentage of students, our students do pretty well. But when we look at them compared to other race groups, we really still have an achievement gap, and we really need to continue to work on that. So our Indian Ed policies focus in on some of those areas and continue to set goals in those areas. Any questions?
No questions. So then we go to 5.7 and we approve the Indian Ed policies, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Is there a motion to approve policy 612.2?
Motion, Derek.
Motion by Derek. Is there a second?
Vicky.
Second by Vicky. Roll call vote. Vicky Bevins.
Yes.
Terry Dorman.
Yes.
Derek Hoban.
Yes.
John Zimma.
Yes.
Nick MacArthur.
Yes.
Alan Halgo. Yes. Motion passes. We move on to our reports, the federal programs. First one is 6.1 is Title I.
Okay, Title I is the academic achievement of the disadvantaged students. We use our Title I dollars for 3 Title I teachers, highly qualified paras, and some programming. We have STAR Renaissance products that come out of there, which is a universal screener, and also Study Island and Ames Web Plus for our progress monitoring. Also, we also use it for programming, for family engagement. We also have homeless set aside money that needs to come out of there, parent and family engagement, foster care. We have supplies that come out for Title I and for regular. Something else, because Waubun Elementary is still in continuous improvement, we do have to provide a 2% set aside, which goes strictly for funding to help pay to get the achievement gap closed and get those scores up. That's primarily what we do with our Title I dollars that we achieve or that we receive. Any questions?
So the Title I funds that he spent every year down to zero, or
We quite a bit of that is, but last year, because of the way things ended in the spring, we do have carryover, and we are allowed. I believe it's a 15% carryover, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Yep. 15%.
okay,
Which is nice.
yeah, nice to have a little cushion.
Very nice. Any other questions?
Okay, well, thank you. Then we'll go to Title II.
Okay, our Title II Part A dollars are used for principal and teacher training and recruitment and for professional development. A good share of my salary comes out of Title II. And in my position, I work a lot with the teachers as far as providing them with data to help at a granular level to get the scores up and to help them with evidence-based practices and things like that. The last couple of years, I haven't been as one-on-one with the teachers just because of our circle grants that we have. So I'm kind of more of a middleman now or at the top, yes, more at the top level. So our coaches are doing quite a bit of that right now.
Okay, any questions for Title II? Hearing none, then should we move on to 6.3 Title IV, Student Support and Academic Enrichment?
Yep.
Where we're using the funding for the PBIS, the house system with the Ron Clark Academy renewal. We also have school-wide PBIS posters and banners that we are using out of this. Newsletter and Generation Genius Science are both resources that our teachers and students are able to tap into. They align to standards. They have engaging activities, videos for the students to be able to view, activities that they can work on as well. We have SEL, so our social emotional learning supplies for 5th through 8th grade. Second step renewal for our pre-K through 8th grade. And second step is also a social emotional learning curriculum that our teachers utilize within the classrooms. Any questions?
Okay, no questions. Move on to 6.4, Title IV, the 21st Century Grant.
You guys remember this is a Get Busy program. So right now we use it for is the extended day salary for 2 staff members. Actually, I think we got 3 staff members going on right now. Supplies, equipment, activities, transportation. Due to COVID, Waubun School was not serving as a community learning center. However, now we're going to start our tech club there, provided kids can drive home on their own or get rides home. But Ogama is serving as our community site. So we have social emotional learning, cultural programming, technology programming, community service, and fitness. Any questions regarding the Get Busy program?
Okay. There isn't any questions. We'll move on to Title VI, Indian Education Formula Grants.
It's you. Title VI used to be known as Title VII. We had a Indian population of 590 kids out of 697. We got $153,000 for this year, and what we do with that is our language instructor comes out of there, 2 paras, a social worker, and we use some for staff development, some for travel. Let's see. And what else do we got here? Supplies. And this is up from last year, so our count went up. So, and actually what we get from the state depends on the amount, the numbers on this one. So, and it's been the same pretty much every year. We do our, have our meetings, we have a parent committee. We try to put stuff on Facebook, parent surveys, student surveys, focus groups, but this has stayed pretty much the same every year. Any questions? This is the federal part.
Nope. Any questions, anybody? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Patty. We'll move on to Title VII, Indian Education Impact Aid.
For Title VII, we have a comparison from 2019 to 2017. We had 477 students in 2019 federally connected, and in 2020 we had 503. And remember, that's always a year behind in our funding. And so we had 26 more students, and they're broken into 4 different categories, or 3 different categories that we count. Special ed, live on, and work on, live off. And we went down in that first category. Special ed went up and live on, and went down and work on, live off. And so that did increase our funding. So $1,240,848. And so that included a good increase for us. So Impact Aid is a significant portion of our budget. Is a big part for funding for us. And so once again, remember that Impact Aid is because of federally impacted property for schools, and is in lieu of taxes. And so that's very important for part of our school funding. Stella, did you want to add anything to that? Okay. Any questions about Impact Aid? I think the big part with Impact Aid is to remember that the school uses that for general operations. That helps pay for, operating our school just like tax dollars would.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Thank you. On to 6.7, American Indian Education Plan.
Okay. This one is what we get from the state. And like I said, our numbers on our Title VI
is what they use to determine. And this year we got $220,000. It's broken up into different goals, and this one's a little different than last year. We've had to go for 3 scenarios: in-person learning, hybrid, and distance. And between Eric and myself, we just kind of pull some stuff from the previous years, and Michelle put in the budget. So we got our cultural teacher there in Ogama out of this one. Let's see. We got our STEAM teacher in Ogama. She comes out of this too. Let's see. And we had to meet all these 5 goals, and they did send me some strategies. And like I said, between Eric and Michelle and I, we came up with a plan, and this is under review. The state will look it over, and it's usually approved every year, so no questions. But we did take a lot of stuff from last year, previous years, like goal area 3. This is where we put in for Joe Bauer here in Waubun, our culture teacher, added in some other stuff. We got our quiz bowl. Gonna try to have a mini powwow in the spring. After school transportation. Stellar some of Stellar comes out of here as well. Let's see, year-round outdoor learning project. That's something new we're gonna try. And let's see. Goal area 4. Doing the same thing with our college and college visits. This year it might be different with some virtual. I mean, the only one right now who's offering on-campus tours is Fond du Lac, and they're limiting it to 7 kids. So I'll have to see what they, but they do virtual, but they would also let us do on campus, but a small group of kids. Goal area 5, all American Indian students graduate from high school, and this is where we kind of team up to look at credits, so they graduate on time. We do our ACT prep out of this part. Senior night, 9th grade and noodles, 7th grade night. Let's see, yeah, ACT prep, junior and senior night. So this is what we came up with for our Indian Ed program for the state. Any questions?
Okay, well, thank you. Let's move on to the Johnson O'Malley.
Let me see. I'm working with the committee to update our JOM list, and between Barb, Ackaby, and I, we're going through. They sent us a preliminary list, but that list is so old, you guys would have to go and pick each and every kid. And they got a new plan for enrolling kids on JOM. They're taking, instead of taking just blood from the Minnesota Chippewa tribe, they're looking at other tribes as well, so that can be counted in, where a lot more kids are going to be eligible. And actually, Barb and I, about 3 weeks ago, we had to come up with some ideas to spend that. There was like $16,000, so we got band instruments, supplies for all the culture programs here, sewing machines, regalia material, beads, and a lot of stuff. So I just kind of got some ideas from the art teacher, what she wants to do, because she's going to help Joe Bauer. And Yeah, we got new band instruments for Sarah. So that's kind of where we're at with JOM right now. And rather than giving them gift cards and stuff, they're gonna try to make stuff available here at the school. So that's it for JOM.
Okay. No, that sounds good.
Okay.
Any questions? All right. And then 6.9, profile.
We attached the profile and sent it out to you just for you to review and take a look at the information. It's incomplete at this time. A lot of it is because the test data is missing. And we're still reviewing some of our enrollment numbers. And as we were reviewing, even preparing for the meeting tonight, we found some errors in our enrollment numbers. So we're going to continue to firm up some data, and we'll continue to work on the profile through the year and continue to get that information out to you. So most of that information is up to date and accurate, but we still want to shore up those numbers and continue to work on that. So I think it's a good information that kind of gives you participation numbers, some of our ethnic enrollment numbers, things like that. But just it's kind of for your purview. Usually at this point, we have a lot of test data. And as you've already heard tonight, we just don't have a lot of that information available for us. And it's where we compare how our students that our Native American students are doing compared to some of our non-Native American students. And we just don't have that data from last year. So we filled out what we could. And then, like I said, we want to still continue to look at some of those enrollment numbers and get those shored up. So just for your review.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
I think
All
if we have people at home that are logged on and watching the federal programs hearing, this information is on our website at the Indian Education Program. You can log on to there, click on. We have last year's federal program information and this year's federal program information, so you can look at this information. And then if you have any questions, please email myself, email Patty DeGroat. It's on our emails are on our district website. And it's also on the hearing notice. Our contact information is on the public hearing notice. So which is public, it is on our Facebook and on our website.
Okay. Anything else?
I think if you have comments on any of the policies, our policy is to respond within 10 days. So if you have any suggestions for changes to any of the policies, we will get back to you and within 10 days. So please make any comments.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That does it for this portion of the program meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion, Derek.
Motion by Derek Hoban, second.
I'll second.
Second, John Zimmer. Roll call vote. John Zimmer,
Yes.
Derek Hoban,
Yes.
Vicky Bevins. That does it for this
Yes.
portion of
Terry
the
Dorman? Yes.
program
Nick
meeting. Is
McCarthy?
there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Alan
Motion,
Holgo,
Derek.
yes. Motion passes. By Derek Hoban, second.
I'll second.
Second, John Zimmer. So we'll John Zimmer, start the regular board
Yes.
meeting at 6 o'clock. Derek Hoban,
Yes.
Vicky Bevins. That does it for this
Yes.
portion of
Terry
the
Dorman? Yes.
program
Nick
meeting. Is
McCarthy?
there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
It's
Alan
posted
Holgo,
as to
yes.
follow.
Motion passed by
Michelle, do you know what
Derek
time
Hoban, second.
our auditor's coming?
I'll second.
Second,
6?
John Zimmer.
Okay.
We're not supposed to have we're just supposed to right after
Start the regular
this
board
meeting at 6 o'clock. Derek Hoban,
Yes.
Vicky Bevins. That does it for this
Yes.
portion of
Terry
the
Dorman? Yes.
Okay,
program meeting.
so we
Is
can wait
there a
till
motion
6.
to adjourn?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Alan
posted.
Holgo.
Yeah, the
as to
time is
follow.
posted for
Michelle, do you
6,
know
so we
what
better
time
wait till
our
6.
auditor's coming?
Second,
6?
John Zimmer.
Okay.
We're not supposed to have we're just supposed to right after
Start the regular
this
board
meeting at 6 o'clock. Derek Hoban,
Yes.